You've heard it a million times, right? For anyone feeling like they're in over their head, the go-to advice is always just fake it till you make it. But what if that bit of popular wisdom isn't just wrong, but is actually working against the very biology of real, lasting confidence? Well, let's dive in and see what the science really has to say. We are putting this classic phrase right under the microscope today. Is it just a harmless little shortcut to success, or are we actually setting a trap for our own brains? Turns out, neuroscience tells a fascinating and a very, very different story. Okay, so first things first, we have to understand that faking confidence is not free. Not at all. Your brain pays a real price for that performance. You can think of it as a cognitive tax. And I'm not just being metaphorical here. This is a measurable metabolic cost that literally drains your mental resources. And this table really breaks down that cost. See, when you're faking it, your brain is in a state of conflict. This basically flips a switch on your brain's alarm system, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, or DACC. It starts blaring. At the same time, another region, the ventrolateral prefrontal cortex, has to work overtime, like a bouncer, to suppress how you actually feel. This constant internal battle, it is exhausting, and it leads straight to mental fatigue and, you guessed it, burnout. So if faking it is a neurological dead end, what's the solution? Well, we're going to start not in the mind, but with the body. The research on what's called embodied cognition shows us that the path to genuine confidence can actually start with something as simple as how you're sitting right now. Your brain is constantly, and I mean constantly, getting signals from your body. So when you adopt an expansive, open posture, taking up space, you're sending high-power signals upstairs to the command center. But when you slump over, making yourself small, you're sending low-power signals. The key takeaway is that your posture isn't just a result of how you feel. It's a powerful input that can literally change your state of mind. And this chart, this is where it gets wild. This shows the real-world effect. Groundbreaking research showed that just holding an expansive, high-power pose for only 2 minutes causes a massive shift in your hormones. Participants saw a 20% increase in testosterone, the dominance hormone, and a 25% decrease in cortisol, the stress hormone. You don't just look more confident, you biologically become more confident. And it's not just about hormones, not by a long shot. More studies show that just adopting these postures boosts your subjective feelings of power and energy. It can even lead to better accuracy and faster reaction times on cognitive tests. Your body is basically telling your brain, hey, we're in control here, we're ready for anything. All right, so we've got the physical side down. Now let's connect that to our brain's chemistry. We hear about serotonin all the time, usually as the happy molecule, but its role in confidence and social dynamics is way more interesting. It's really all about navigating the social world. So forget what you thought you knew. Serotonin is basically your brain's social hierarchy calculator. It's the neurochemical that helps you figure out your place in a group, assess your social rank, and decide whether to be dominant or, a bit more submissive in any given interaction. It's a status molecule. So how does this whole system work? Well, it starts deep in the brain stem, in a place called the dorsal raphe nucleus, or DRN. That's the serotonin factory. From there, it gets sent right up to key areas like your prefrontal cortex. This whole circuit is running 24/7, analyzing social cues and constantly updating your own sense of status. This is how your brain learns and adapts inside a social power structure. Okay, so we know posture and chemistry are major inputs. But how does this become a stable, lasting trait? Well, it happens by physically changing the architecture of your brain, by building what we can think of as a confidence superhighway. And this superhighway isn't just a cute metaphor. It's a real physical pathway of white matter connecting two critical brain regions. You've got the medial prefrontal cortex, the MPFC, which is where you process your sense of self, your identity. And that connects to the ventral striatum, a core part of your brain's reward system. It's the heck yeah center. Real, genuine confidence is basically a measure of how strong and efficient that physical connection is. And the research on this is just stunning. As these researchers found, the physical health of this pathway creates what they call a rich get richer scenario. The stronger that connection, the higher your self-esteem. And higher self-esteem, in turn, reinforces and strengthens that very same connection over time. It is a biological feedback loop of self-worth. And just how predictive is all this? Get this. The physical strength of this pathway in someone's brain can actually predict their self-esteem levels a full 8 months into the future. This isn't just a feeling, it's a measurable piece of your brain's anatomy that is actively shaping your future self. So this all leads to the big question, right? Can we actually build this superhighway? Can we strengthen it on purpose? The answer from neuroscience is a huge, resounding yes. So now we're going to move from understanding the science to a practical, actionable blueprint for rewiring your brain towards what scientists call self-efficacy. And let's be really clear about what we're aiming for. Self-efficacy is a huge step up from simple confidence. It's not wishful thinking. It's the concrete, evidence-based belief in your own ability to handle whatever comes your way. It's the difference between saying, I think I can, and knowing deep down, I've got the tools for this. So, the first protocol is all about hacking a powerful biological phenomenon called the winner effect. Any win, and I mean any win, no matter how small, triggers a surge of testosterone and dopamine. But it's not just a fleeting high. It literally rewires your brain, beefing up the receptors that make you more motivated for the next win. So, by intentionally stacking small, meaningful victories, you create a biological cascade of momentum. All right, protocol number 2 targets the brain's willpower center, also known as its grip muscle, the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, or AMCC. You strengthen it by doing things you don't want to do. When you willingly engage with a difficult but achievable task, like taking a cold shower or finally making that tough phone call, you're basically doing reps for your AMCC. This builds concrete proof for your brain that you are in fact someone who does hard things. So here it is, your 30-day blueprint. It's simple. Every single day, practice 2 minutes of expansive posture. Every day, complete one hard thing you feel resistance to. Every day, acknowledge one small win to feed that winner effect. Then, once a week, just review your progress to really reinforce the evidence for your brain. And one last pro tip, when you're learning something new, aim for about a 15% error rate. That's the sweet spot that tells your brain it's time to adapt and grow. So at the end of the day, here is the ultimate takeaway. Confidence isn't some magical personality trait you're either born with or you're not. And it's definitely not something you can just fake. It is a fundamental skill of your nervous system. And like any skill, it can be trained. The only real question left is, are you ready to start training?